Hey everybody, welcome back to another not figure review on the channel. Today we have for the first time an action figure comparison. Of course, if you can't tell already, we are comparing the SH Figuarts Spider-Man No Way Home Green Goblin to the Marvel Legends No Way Home Green Goblin. These are some figures. There's some figures. I got both of these last month, sometime within the last month, and there's a battle online between which one should you get for your display. Should you get the SH Figuarts one, or should you get the Marvel Legends one? And I am going to break down everything in here for this comparison. Okay, this is my first comparison, so please bear with me if I ramble and stuff. I'm trying to stay as organized and objective as possible. Now with that, we'll just break down some of the categories. Okay, this will be a long intro. So I have my notes right here on my laptop next to me. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 different categories that we will be analyzing both of these figures in. That is sculpt and paint, articulation, accessories, scale, and functionality. I don't have price in there because there is a big price difference between these two. The one on the right, the SH Figuarts, that can range from $130 to $160. I know I've seen some people complain online that it's $160, and some other people argue back like, no, it's like $120 retail Japan. It's like, okay, well, I'm not in Japan to purchase it for $120 or $130. To get it imported, even then, like I got mine imported from a Japanese site, and with shipping and everything, it came out to $163. So anyways, that price right there is there. And then you have the Marvel Legends one, which is $49.99, which some people think that's overpriced for the Marvel Legend. I don't know. Point is, I don't want to factor price too much into it because the SH Figuarts could be worth the $160, with everything it comes with. Like, okay, yeah, like it's a big price, but it's worth paying that price. Same thing for the Marvel Legend, which I don't think $49.99 for the Legend is that bad anyway. But keeping that out, I'm gonna break down these categories of these, break down the figures in all of these categories, okay? And it's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. I know which one that I prefer. I already have the one that I prefer between these two, but I want to have an objective comparison between the two. And there's going to be a ranking and a point system. Whichever one has the most points will come up on top. So I will give you a point scoring, and then I will give you my objective score. I'll give you a point score to see which one would be objectively better, and then I'm going to give you my subjective opinion on which one I prefer that I would recommend to people. But again, sorry for the long intro. Let's just go ahead and break these two figures down. Let's go. And here we go with the first category being sculpt and paint. Here we are, the two figures out of their boxes right here. We'll go ahead and take a look at the Marvel Legends first for sculpt and paint. And I think the sculpt and paint on here is fantastic. I think all the Goblin details are here for the suit. Everything is painted nice and shiny. I don't have a definitive accuracy thing. I would have taken a look at the Hot Toys figure, but everything for the most part is there. There might be some details here on the back that are missing, but everything's here. The satchel, I like the torn hoodie that's here, the pouches and the wrists and everything. It's all good. And then of course you have the head sculpt. That is one of the main selling points for this Marvel Legend. This Willem Dafoe head sculpt is insane. Look at that. You know how the laugh goes. So anyways, I also like the metallic green that they chose. It is a different sheen than the Marvel Legends. It's a different sheen than the SHF, but I think it still works. I can find reference images where the green does look like that. It's not as saturated as the SHF, but for the most part, it is there. It's there, and it looks good. So now sculpt and paint right there for Marvel Legends good. We'll go ahead and bring in the SHF, whereas again you can see the different insaturations on the green. But also, like the Marvel Legends, I think the paint and sculpt is here. I'm missing this piece right here. I'll put that in here. And yeah, that's there. I mean, that does look like Willem Dafoe. Now the paint, there is going to be an issue. There's two issues with this head sculpt, really. I don't know what this is with the gray right here. I don't know why that's not printed correctly. And then yes, the infamous mustache shading. I don't know why that's there, why it's so heavy. It didn't look like that in the promo images, so that kind of sucks for the head sculpt. Then again, bringing in this one with the goggles, because this is here, kind of the same deal. Mustache is gross looking, and then you have this, I don't know why that gray is seeping through right there. But for the most part, again, sorry guys, I'm trying to get this focus up for you. The paint and sculpt is there. I like it. There's even the painted details here on the back, which are lacking on the Marvel Legends. But I like this green too. I like the green. I like the saturation. Again, I like the hoodie. This one does have a hood down versus the no hood down for the Marvel Legends. But for the most part, I think it's there. So, okay, paint and sculpt is here. But there is something too that I want to point out, that an inaccuracy of the SHF, and that there is no wrist gauntlet right here, wrist rocket gauntlet, I don't know what you want to call it, for the SHF. So we have to give props to the Marvel Legends team for adding that in there, because again, this is a $160 figure that doesn't have that. Again, I'm not going to try to factor, there is no price category, but it does be, price is obviously a big consideration when you go into buying either one of these figures. So now that we have both of these here, I am going to break it down. So on a scale of 1 to 3, that's how I'm doing my point system. It's like 1 to 3 for each of the categories. Let's break it down. Marvel Legends is great, has the rocket, might be missing some paint details on the back of the figure covered by the hoodie. The head sculpt looks good. No paint is missing other than what's on the back. For the SHF, the metallic green also looks great. The painted details are there. Missing the inaccuracy on the wrist rocket, the head sculpt, both of them have the mustache shading, which is a little weird. And then the top of the head paint thingy with the gray seeping through. I don't know if that's just like a factory error, or I don't know what that is. But that's there, and again, for $160, not really the best or ideal thing. So for the most part though, other than the small nitpicks with the SHF, I'm going to give it on a point system of 1 to 3, a 3. Now, with the Marvel Legends, again, there are some advantages to it with no weird paints on the head sculpt and then the addition to the sculpt on the rocket. So I'm going to give the Marvel Legends a 3.5. Again, I'm not going to give it a whole nother point. They're there. They both look good for the most part. You can tell this is Green Goblin from No Way Home. But those little mishaps like the mustache and the head and no wrist rocket, that's going to bring it down. That's going to bring it down for me. Again, this is my opinion, but this is how I'm going to do it. So for sculpt and paint category, 3.5 Marvel Legend, 3 on the SH Figure Arts. So let's go ahead and move on to the next category. Now for the next category, we have accessories. Now you might be thinking, Daniel, like, SHF comes with so much more. Like, obviously this category is going to go to the SHF. Not quite. Not in this video. There is a kind of quality over quality. Wait, no, quality over quantity approach I want to take when analyzing this, because yes, the SHF objectively has more accessories. It has a lot more than the Marvel Legends, but it is also missing some crucial things that should come with a Green Goblin figure, nonetheless a $160 figure. And now the Marvel Legends is also not perfect. There is some fun and interesting things made with the accessories over here, but it is still also missing some things. So let's just go ahead and break it down. We'll start right here. SH Figure Arts, right? We'll just go that route. SH Figure Arts has a lot of accessories. Let's break them down. The pros of these accessories and the pulls we get here. We have a lot of interchangeable hands. I like that. That is something that is missing from the Marvel Legends version. We also have 2 display options for the knife, or knife, arm, wrist, blade, sheath, whatever. We have a retracted version and a extended version. That's also really cool. As well as with the hoods, we have a hood up. We have a hood up and hood down. So you have a lot of display options. Now with the glider, we also have a very nice painted glider. So that's awesome. That's cool. It looks really great. It also articulates. We'll take a close look and compare both of the gliders here. But we also have 2 head sculpts. However, this is where we get to the negatives with this figure. The head sculpts, they suck. They don't suck. The expressions on them suck. This is Green Goblin. Even on the box art for SH Figure Arts, he is smiling. He is grinning. There is no option here. I see what they were doing with having the goggles be here and the non-goggles here, but Marvel Legends eliminates that problem by having 2 head sculpts, by having the goggles be removable and just having them on there. there might be a higher risk of them breaking. I don't know. But if you're going to include 2 head sculpts, why not make removable goggles and then have one smiling and then one neutral? I don't understand that. The also big negative for the SH Figure Arts figure, there's no stand for the glider. That is so stupid. In any way you put it, that is stupid. This is a $160 figure. The whole purpose of this character is to be on this flying glider, but you don't have a stand that comes with it. Why Tamashii or whoever made that decision, I don't know, and it's dumb, and it sucks because the glider is cool-ish. There's another big problem with this glider, but not having a stand is criminal. If you have a Tamashii stand, here's one from a Far From Home figure or No Way Home figure, the integrate or the black and gold suit. It does plug in here and you have that. But that's if you have another Tamashii figure that has a stand. I don't know how much the Tamashii stands go for, like separately, if you can buy them online. Let's just say they're cheap. Let's say it's $20. Okay, that's another $20 investment that you have to put into a $160 figure. Again, this is an issue that should not be present at all for the price you paid for this figure and it being an import. So yes, you have more hand options. You have more display options with the blade and the hood. Also, there's a pumpkin bomb. I forgot to mention that. Only one. It looks okay. But the 2 crucial things that are missing for a Green Goblin is a grinning head sculpt and a stand for the glider. That brings, like, again, quality over quantity for this category. So yes, there's a lot here, but there are 2 very important accessories that I would think are integral. The way that a Marvel Legends Spider-Man figure should have all 6 like hands, flipping, fists, and wall crawling is the way that a Goblin should have a stand and a grinning head. That just seems to be like the nature of it. I like the addition to the gestured hands. That's cool, but these gestured hands on a glider that I can't even put in the air seems kind of pointless to me. So I don't know. That's how I take it. And yeah, that's the SHF accessories. Again, some pros, but some really big cons. So let's go ahead and move on to the Marvel Legends. So now we have the Marvel Legend accessories out here. We have the glider, a hood, pumpkin bomb, goggles, 2 heads, but not 2 Norman Osborn heads. And also we have a stand. Okay, let's get the obvious out of the way. This has less accessories than the SHF, but again, quality over quantity for me in this category. The grinning head sculpt. This one head sculpt alone is better than the 2 head sculpts that Tamashii gave us. These are dookie compared to this. That paint and that sculpt and even like the gap in the teeth, like that just looks awesome. So again, the head sculpts work. You have the addition to the goggles, so you have that display option. You have a hood up version, no hood down, so that kind of lacks. 1 pumpkin bomb, which is the same. The glider, we'll go ahead and just take a look here, is cool. It looks great. The paint is fine. It's kind of, instead of having a bright silver, it's a gunmetal gray, but I do like the additions to the green accents on the thrusters and down in here. So that's really nice. And then yes, the big one, we have a stand for the glider. Like, that's, again, common knowledge. You should have a stand for the glider if you include a figure that has a glider, like Green Goblin. Like, come on, man. Like, that just, again, Marvel Legends, it's here, it's cool. The selling point for this figure is that it's a goblin and he's on a glider. So, thank you. Even if it's just this little gimpy thing, like, it does the job. It looks cool, and you can articulate it. Now, this accessory right here, the Goblin head sculpt. Now, this will, I don't know. For me, this hits home for me. I love Green Goblin. I love the first Spider-Man movie. It's probably my second or first favorite Spider-Man movie of all time. It's awesome. And this is so iconic to see this helmet. So for Marvel Legends to include it, even though we never saw this look of this design with this helmet, we never saw that in No Way Home, they decided to include it anyway. My guess is going to be because although we all want Hasbro to remake some 2002 Spider-Man figures, I doubt they are. So they're like, you know what, we'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Boom. Goblin helmet for the No Way Home version. I personally love that. Is it accurate to the movie? No. Does it add a lot of fun factor? yes, I have fun posing my goblin with this head sculpt. It hits home for me. And again, these two head sculpts right here, although one of them is inaccurate, is better than these two. And the whole point of having another one of this is so you can have this look, and you have that with the legend goggles included. So again, you technically have 3 options on the left and only 2 on the right with some boring expressions. Like, that just kind of sucks, you know, compared to that. So again, and then you get the hood in here, and like that again, that's just cool. I'm sorry this is not focusing, and I'm not looking through the camera, I'm looking over here. I'm gonna start looking through, make sure it's in focus for y'all. But again, so yes, SHF has more, and what's missing from this is some alternate hands. I would have loved to have 2 fisted hands and 2 pumpkin bomb holders. That's all you needed. And again, for $50, some people would argue that it should have that, even though the selling point for this figure is going to be the glider. But again, like, comparing the two, like, I have a lot more fun with these accessories, even though there's less, than I do with all these other ones right here. Like, you know, and again, that's just me, but that's where you get to, like, the subjective thing. So what do you want? Do you want an additional helmeted head and a good grinning that has this, or do you want more hands? You know, that's objective. But again, one thing that's not objective is that's subjective. The one thing that is objective is the lack of stand for a glider. That sucks. That's so stupid. And I have another point to bring onto the glider once we get to that. We're going to compare those right after this. So again, quality over quantity. I have more fun with this set than I do with the SHF accessories. I wish that Marvel Legends included some fisted hands, but that's just the way it goes. Before we move on from accessories, I do want to talk about the glider. I'm not going to harp on the lack of stand for the SHF already. This is going to be on the glider. Again, these are 2 different designs, like 2 different sculpts. I don't know, like, for accuracy, like, which one is supposed to be the one from No Way Home. This looks like the one from the original trilogy. This looks like the No Way Home because it's more squared. So I don't know. But like, the pros and cons of the 2. Which one is painted better? The SHF one has more paint, besides the lack of the green accents in there. I have to sneeze. Sorry about that. Okay, so the SHF has more paint. Now, a big selling point is articulation. So the SHF hinges here, and there is a hinge up and down here. So you can get some, like, good, like, articulated, like, poses on here. Like, that's cool. That's fun for a glider. It's better than just being static. Now, the Marvel Legends one also has, there's also articulation. Ooh, I want to show on the rotation right here. These hinge as well, and they rotate. So that's cool. With the Marvel Legends as well, there is a hinge side to side, and they do rotate. So that's nice that they match there. And they also match because there's some ratchets that go up and down here. There's less range. Let me get this up for y'all. There we go. There's some range like that, and then but there's also some ratchets down there. So you can get that wide. So when you compare, like, these 2, they're about the same. So that's really cool that the Marvel Legend glider has little or most and majority of the same articulation as the SHF. So the SHF one does have this gimmick where it could stand like that. So yeah, there's no stand for it, but if you want Goblin on the ground, sure. But this one can't do that just because that's not as wide, so that drips down like that. But another major flaw with the design of the figure and the design of the glider is there is no peg holes here. So you'd be like, oh, is there pegs on the Goblin's feet? No, there's nothing. It is flat. This sucks. I'm gonna bring this up later in functionality, but the fact that there is no peg holes for the glider figure that is $160. No. That is bad. That is not good. We got peg holes here, so that's nice. Now, one worry I do have for the glider with the Marvel Legends one is these plug in. These are separate, and when you have the figure on here, it pushes these down. Like, it's already angled because I've already had the figure on the glider for so long. So I would be scared of warping this and potentially breaking this peg over time. So that kind of sucks design-wise. SHF has the same thing, but this is a lot more sturdier than that one. Like, these don't move at all, so they're all just one piece. I wish Hasbro could have done something like that, because the fact that this plastic is flexing like that, I don't like that. I'd be worried about that breaking in the future. So be careful. The gliders, more paint. It looks nice. It's shiny. It's shiny. It moves, but there's no peg holes. So, whatever. This one doesn't look as shiny. It also articulates, but there's peg holes. You see where this is going? So, anyways, that just whatever. I like this glider more than this one, personally speaking. But that is all I have for the gliders. Let's go ahead and finish up this section. I just went ahead and threw everything back in here. No point in trying to make it look pretty for y'all. Y'all get it. So, for this category of articulation of accessories, the SHF has a lot more variety, right? The Marvel Legends has less. But what you are given with the Marvel Legend enhances your experience a little more. For me, that is okay. That's subjective. I like having these heads more. I have more fun with this look than I do having alternate hands. So again, pros and cons: more variety, more display options, but missing some critical things. No stand for the glider, and the glider has no peg holes and no grinning head sculpt. So that sucks. Those are the cons for the SHF. The pros and cons for the Marvel Legends: we get a grinning head sculpt. We have the display options with the goggles. We have this additional goblin head, although not accurate to the movie, still adds a lot of fun to it. The glider has a stand, so that's cool. You can get goblin pose in the air. Peg holes on the glider, so functionality of the glider does work well. So, but Marvel Legends is missing some alternate hands. If this had alternate hands, I would have cleared this category, and this would have been the clear winner. For this one, though, for the points, I'm going to give both of these, both SHF and Marvel Legends, a 2. On a scale of 1 to 3, points 1, 2, or 3, they both get 2 points. Again, a lot more variety here. No functionality on the glider. Missing grinning head sculpt. That sucks. No stand for the glider. Marvel Legends has stand for the glider, has a grinning head sculpt, has functionality on the glider, missing some alternate hands. If it had alternate hands, it would have cleared. And then obviously the freaking we have a new world to conquer. You know what I'm saying? It's awesome. Sorry, I'm rambling. But okay, that is it. Accessories, they both get a 2. It's a tie. It's a draw in this section. So let's go ahead and move to the next one, which is going to be scale. Okay, for scale, this is going to be a really short category. I just set up my displays literally yesterday, so I don't want to go and pull all these figures down for size comparisons. So I just pulled down the Marvel Legends integrated suit and the SHF integrated suit. And for the scale, the Marvel Legends Goblin runs a little high, but I've compared him to the other Spider-Man and other villains. He's fine. He's not overly tall. He's not super short. That goes as well with the SHF Goblin. He pairs well with the integrated suit with the Tobey Maguire, like other No Way Home figures. Like the scale for both of these, they're good. There's neither one of them is too small or too tall or out of proportion or anything. It looks good. So scale for both of these figures, they both get 3 points in this category because they work. They're good. Again, really short category. Sorry, I don't want to pull out all these other comparisons, but they work. They're good. If you don't believe me, buy the figures and show me. But yes, they're scale 3s across the board for these two. Now, with that done, we are going to go to the next category, which is one of the biggest ones, and that is going to be articulation. Okay, articulation now. Let's get going. So, I have to make a note. This figure was modded. If you haven't noticed it already, I added some calf swivel rotation on here because posing this figure on the glider, it is kind of essential that you have some boot rotation. So, in this category, this will not be counted. When I pose it, if I pose it, I will not be using this point of articulation. I have to make note that, well, I'll make the note later. So anyways, this was modded. We're going to pretend it's not. I thought I was going to have another, I thought I was going to be able to buy another Goblin for this video, but I haven't been able to. So just pretend that it's not modded. Okay, articulation. Let's go ahead and we'll just go take a look at the Marvel Legends first. So the Marvel Legends articulation. Head looks up, fine, down, dumbbell joint, getting the shoulders move up here, which is good. There is some pivot down here, some moving, bicep or shoulder rotation and bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbows, nice. No joints are gummy either. Wrist hinge and swivel. So the ab crunch kind of sucks. There's little to none. And again, this, I don't know why Marvel Legends takes the lower weight, like the lower waist movement on MC figures. It's gone. You could have had a reverse ab crunch here, like the Marvel Legends Venom figure or the comic like Spider-Man figures, and it would have been awesome. However, due to the hips, you can bring the hips down and he can still look down. So using those hips, that kind of helps with the goblin poses. Still kind of sucks. It would have been better. But we have also, well, I guess legs kick up that far. Double jointed knees. Upper thigh rotation. No calf or boot swivel at all, which sucks. That is the biggest downfall of this figure. The biggest one is the lack of boot swivel. I don't know if Dwight or whoever, not Dwight, just whoever at Hasbro, if they ever play with their figures, but Goblin on the glider, like posed with, like, it can work. That's my note. I was going to say, the note that I was going to make earlier is that the day that I first got this figure, when I opened it on the live stream, I was able to hit some good Goblin poses on the glider. It's just awkward because the feet are always constantly pointed out. Again, not rotating the feet. So like that, like again, it's good that it can get low because of the hips and stuff. Like that's nice. But the feet being out like that, like that's just super awkward. And that sucks. That's booty. But ankles move down. And there is some ankle pivot, no swivel at all. So again, it's good. The hips definitely save it in terms of like the crouching poses on the glider, but having something at the lower torso would have been nice. And again, the fact that there's no boot or ankle swivel, like that's so stupid and so dumb. So done with Marvel Legend. Let's go ahead and bring out the SHF. I cut right there, but we'll go ahead and bring out the SHF. So head looks up, down, ball joint at the lower of the neck and at the top, so that's good. Get the same movement there. I'll just pull it out. Shoulder pads come up. Oh, I didn't mean to pull that off. Can I pop this back on? Can I pop it back on? Oh, there we go. As the shoulder has some movement right there, and they go up. About okay. Well, I'm just gonna keep that off. Move up. They're supposed to go above that, but bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. Swivel hinge, swivel at the wrist, that's nice. There's a lower and upper torso articulation, which gets for a good crunch forward. So that's nice, that's dope. And then if you wanted to use the hips as well, boom, all the way down. So that's a lot more than that. So we know who's going to be the winner of this category. The hips move out this far. The kind of pouch is a hard plastic, so it kind of like gets in the way right there. But you can kick all the way up like that. These do kind of feel a little like, not gummy, but like rubber, not rubbery. I don't know. Be careful with the hip joints. That's all I'm going to say. I guess, I didn't show the pivot too. Pivot. Upper thigh swivel. Double jointed knees, which I think should get a little more than that, but you know, that's all right. No calf, but there is ankle down, up, toe articulation, and a swivel. So that piece of articulation right there. Oh, sorry. Excuse me, that piece of articulation, no bueno, because there's no swivel here. So articulation, I think y'all know, is probably most likely going to go to the SHF. Let me get this back on here and we can do an official point system. So for articulation, for points, SHF gets 3 points because there's little to no issues and it has more articulation points and has everything. And the Marvel Legend gets a 2. Not a 1 because it's a 2. It's not a 3 because, again, there's no lower calf rotation despite my mod. Like, okay, let's pretend that's not there. But for the most part, like, you can still get some goblin poses on there. Again, the day that I got this figure and I was posing it on the glider, like, it looks awkward in some angles and you have to, like, compensate for the rotation on the glider. But you can still hit some good, like, goblin poses on there. But the lack of boot rotation or ankle rotation is just simply unforgivable. I don't know why Marvel Legends did that. It's stupid. I think they thought like the swivel on the glider is probably what helps make it better, but even then it doesn't sometimes. So SHF definitely wins this category by a nose hair because you can still hit some goblin poses on here, but again, it's still inexcusable that there's no rotation. So SHF wins this category. 3 points to SHF, 2 points to Marvel Legends. And yeah, now it's time. We're going to go down to the last category, which is going to be functionability. No, functionability. What the hell is that? Functionality. Boondocks. Daniel, what do you mean by functionality? I mean by playing with the figure. Look at the head sculpt on here. Ooh, it looks so good. It looks so good. Point is, okay, the whole point of Green Goblin is to be on a glider, right? So can he get on the glider? Can you pose him? Can you play with him? So yeah, this whole category is just going to be me showing this off. So I do want to just point out, well, I'll just go ahead and do a smaller one right here. You get this in here. So that works, that you can get the goblin pose on the glider, and that's nice. Or you get the glider on the stand. So that's cool. You can get that. And then, again, not using the calf rotation because the whole point is that it doesn't have calf rotation because of my mod. So, oh, I rotated that right there. So you have to get this down here. And we'll just turn that. That way it's not rotated. So we will use the ankle to compensate, again, that it's not turned like that. So, again, there you go. The goblin is on the glider. Can't zoom. The goblin's on the glider. It's posed up. It looks a little awkward because, again, there's no cap rotation. Again, use your imagination. There's no rotation. So you have to use the rotation at the foot pegs down here to get it. But you can get goblin on the glider, and you can pose him around, and you can do stuff, and it can stay. And, like, look at that. Like, that's freaking cool. He's, like, surfing right now. You know? Okay, so point is, minus the calf rotation thing, like, and then, oh, see, then look at that. So you get the legs out. Again, this isn't being bent. Oh, this has been a little bit. Sorry, guys. You turn it this way. There you go. And then, yeah. So it looks awkward. It looks awkward. So that sucks. But you can get him down low with that. You use the ankle road. You use the ankle pivot, this swivel, and you use the hips. And you can get this goblin down low on the glider. And that is the functionality. And that's what I'm talking about. Can you get goblin on a glider? And can you get him posed? And Goblin is known for being low. Does this look awkward from this height? Yes, it does. Why didn't they include a rotation on here? I don't know. But, you know, it's there. It's cool. And it works. The functionality is there. So now, let's go ahead and get the SH Figure Arts. So you have the SH Figure Arts here. All right? We're going to back this camera up a little bit. And let's just put on a different head. Because let's just go ahead and put on a hood. Again, we have the display options. Let's do it. Let's just go and put this in here. And then we're going to put this in here. Oh, wait. Maybe I should have put this on first. Put this on first. This is Goblin. We're making a display video right now. And we're going to slide this over here. Booyah, look at that. That looks cool. The silhouette's nice. It's there. Okay, let's bring in our additional stand because this doesn't have a stand. Okay. Bring this up. Make sure this is wide enough for y'all to see. So we'll just go ahead and... Oh, I have this thing really tight. I need to get a screwdriver and untighten it. Oh, y'all hear that? Jesus Christ. Let's go ahead and... There we go. Bring that down. So we have the glider. Let's plug it in right here. There we go. So there we go. We finally have we finally have the glider in the air. Let's get a pose. Let's just try to recreate this pose. This right here. Let's just do that. A low crouching thing. So you get down right here. We'll have the arm come to the front. His blade is gone. It fell off, but it's all right. And there's no peg holes. Again, no peg holes. So we'll just come in through here and here. Oh, and that fell off the thing already. Okay, there we go. So, god dang it. Okay, hold on. Time out. Okay, I'm back. I grabbed a different stand. One that's not so tight. And we can just do this in here. And here, and there you go. There's Goblin on the glider in the air. The foot is not on there securely, but it's okay. So we can get Goblin. Oh wait, that's coming down. Let's bring this up a little bit. We gotta get lower. So that's nice. You can get Goblin on the air. Functionality is pretty good. You shake it, and it's there. It's leaning back a little bit, but it's okay. Just lean him forward, and it's there. So if you got a little angle, this foot will stand, but sometimes they're just going to fall right out. You want to do a pose where you can get the Goblin glider like up and he's like leaning. That's not going to happen because there's no peg holes in the bottom of the thing. Let's get this lower. Come on. And you can't. Oh, there we go. So if you can hook it, maybe we can hook it. Let's see. Oh, okay, never mind. You see my point. The functionality and the gliding, it just kind of sucks. I want to get him on the side like this. And you get this in here. Use the ankle pivot and there. Okay, come on, balance right, dude. Lean forward. See, then the foot just comes out again. That's the point of this category. I don't like that there's no peg holes in here, and that sucks. You can get this glider and you can lean this all the way back, and Goblin is still going to stay in it. He's going up. You can't do that a lot, and maybe if you can, and it's just sucks for me, maybe I just suck at posing. But though they don't say, oh, here's a figure that you can play with, but you have to be a good poser in order to hit some poses you want. Because, oh, that's a first. He could do it. Oh my God. That's an epiphany. Oh, okay. That's dope. Oh, never mind. Okay. And it just came out again. So if you hit a sweet spot angle, it'll stay. If not, majority of the time it doesn't stay. And that just kind of sucks. It's an inconvenience to me that I have to just get this posed right and make sure it's at an angle to where it'll stay on and there's enough friction, instead of simply just having peg holes. Like, I don't know why there wasn't any pegs on this glider stand. It doesn't make sense at all to me. So you have to just get a neutral flying pose, and there you go. That's how it goes, man. I don't know. That kind of sucks. So it can do it with some troublesome. Goblin Legends can do it with little to no trouble besides the rotation on the calves. Okay, let me get this balanced out right here. Ooh, come on. There we go. Booyah. See, that's nice. That's nice. Anyways, functionality category, I'm going to give the SHF 2 points. The body works well. The glider, on a stand that you have to find, can be okay, but in terms of getting that pose on here, like, that just sucks. And again, if you're going to argue and be like, oh, that's a skill issue, you just don't know how to pose it correctly, again, you shouldn't have to be a master poser. You should plug in the Goblin feet on the glider, and that should be it, and that should be fine. You shouldn't be worried about it falling off regardless. So that's just irritating. 2 points for SHF, 3 points for Marvel Legends. That's how it goes. So yeah, again, and then you can see down right there, see how it's bending right there? That's my worry for that. Anyways, functionality category, 3 points to Goblin, 2 points to SHF, and that's it. Well, there we go, everybody. Those are the categories I came up with. Those are the points I gave them. Let's go ahead and tally up and see which one wins. So again, repeat the categories. We had Sculpt and Paint, Articulation, Accessories, Scale, and Functionality. Again, there's some other stuff I was going to throw in there, but just to keep it basic and simple, that's what I had. Let's go ahead and tally up the points. So the SH Figure Arts for Sculpt and Paint gets a 3. For Articulation gets a 3. For Accessories gets a 2. For Scale gets a 3. Functionality gets a 2. So there we go. There's those categories right there for a total of 13 points. So 13 points across the board in total for the SH Figure Arts. Again, each category was on a scale on a point system of 1, 2, or 3 points for each category based on my analysis. So now let's take a look at the Marvel Legends. Sculpt and Paint, 3.5, again for having the accurate wrist gauntlets that the SHF was missing. Articulation is a 2, lower than the SHF for the lack of boot rotation. And yeah, for boot rotation. Accessories, also a 2, the same as the SHF, because although it has a cool Goblin helmet and a grinning Willem Dafoe head, there is a lack of alternate hands, so that sucks. Scale gets a 3 as well as SHF, because again, they both fit into scale with their retrospective lines. Functionality gets a 3 over the 2, because getting Goblin pose on the glider, while it can look awkward in some poses, for the most part, he can get on the glider, hit a Goblin pose on his own stand. Again, this Goblin right now is on the floor because there's no stand. So again, 3.5 for Sculpt and Paint, 2 for Articulation, 2 for Accessories, 3 for Scale, 3 for Functionality, with a total 13.5 points. Therefore, on an objective point scale system that I have made up, the Marvel Legends beats the SH Figure Arts. Now, that is surprising to me, because before I started this video and I started tallying points, I thought objectively the SH Figure Arts was going to win the objective points of the point system. And I was going to say, yeah, objectively, like the point system goes to SHF, but I personally will recommend the Marvel Legends over the SHF for a number of reasons explained in this video. But no, I mean, based on my point system that I did, like, yeah. And it's that 0.5 from the Sculpt and Paint because of the accurate wrist gauntlets. So give or take, if that wasn't there, if that was a 3, they would both be at 13s, in which that point I would recommend going for the Marvel Legends. Again, a category that's not in here, that's not factored, is the price. Again, price, $50, $130 to $160. You know, that's going to go to Marvel Legends. But again, I want to be like, maybe the SH Figuarts was worth the potentially $160. But in my opinion, it's not. There's too many objectively wrong issues. I'm not even going to talk about the missing gauntlet. I'm not going to talk about the painted mustache on the head sculpt. The fact that this goblin and I won't even talk about the lack of grinning head sculpt. The two big major downfalls for this figure, the fact that the glider doesn't come with a stand, and the fact that there's no peg holes for this goblin to be on the glider. Like, oh, he just came down with it anyway. Okay, oh, and there you go. Like, that is just a major... Those are just two big issues that shouldn't be on a figure that costs as much as it does. I'm happy that those issues are not issues on the Marvel Legends, so that looks really cool. But that's how it is for me. Though that's the breaking point, is the fact, again, you can be like, oh, it has more articulation, it has more accessories, so maybe it is worth. And you know, take the goblin off of the glider, minus the grinning head sculpt. It's a good figure. Its pose is nice. It looks good. The aesthetics there, proportions are there. It looks dope. But the point of Goblin is to be on a glider. And if you have a glider that doesn't have a stand, and the Goblin cannot stay on said glider because of the lack of peg holes and poses that you can hit, like, that's just wrong. That's just wrong. That's for me, and you can't convince me that's an objectively wrong thing to do as a toy company. So that's it. The winner for this first ever face-off is the Marvel Legends. So again, some alternate fists would have been fine, but the biggest issue with this goblin is the lack of rotation at the cab. And personally, I would say buy the $50 Marvel Legend and take the chance at modding this versus spending the $160 on this and being disappointed. That's how it goes for me. That's how I see it. I don't know. Like I said, take the chance and try to mod, get a parent, whatever you can. Or if you don't mod it, then you can still make some way with it. I've still seen some poses online where people are hitting poses with it not being modded, and it still looks good. But anyways, that is going to be all for this video. Thank you guys for watching my first ever comparison video. I don't know how many more I do if I ever do this again. This was like a really big call. Like, there's a big divisive presence online of which one is better, the Marvel Legends and the SHF, and I've like done some polls and I've asked around, and a lot of people preferred the Marvel Legends, to my surprise, which again, because I don't know, that's just how it goes. But anyways, thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, all that good stuff. Let me know down below. Like, you comment, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the SHF? Do you want to fork up the money for the SHF? Because before, I would say, if you can afford the SHF, buy the SHF. Like, that's good. Like, that's great. But now I'm like, just buy the Marvel Legend. The Marvel Legends is good, unless you're like me and you have a SHF display and you have a Legends display. That's the whole reason I have both of them. I have an import display and a Legends display. And at the end of the day, I am happy to have both of them, because what a time it is to be getting Raimi character figures. Again, Spider-Man No Way Home came out at this point 2 years ago today. So to be getting these figures now, like, my inner child is happy, and all I'm missing is the Hot Toys versions. So I will be getting both the Hot Toys versions of the regular Goblin and the Hobo Goblin, and I'm excited to take a look at those and house in my collection. I'm grateful that SHF even made this Goblin, because they don't do a lot of Spider-Man villains. So I'm happy we got it, but the Marvel Legends takes the cake for it. So again, thank y'all guys for watching. Let me know down below which one is your favorite. Did you like my opinion? Did you hate it? Whatever you want to say, let me know down below, and I will catch y'all guys on the next video. Peace.